In this lesson, we're going to see how to create a custom Lightning component and insert that component onto the Lightning page builder to display some simple metrics. Salesforce has the ability to insert graphs on a page, which is nice, and we'll maybe cover that in another lesson, but sometimes you just want to have simple metrics. And in this example, we're showing a custom field value, an event total, and then maybe activities total. That's a summary. And so the first step when you're creating a custom component is to create the new component. But before you do that, you need to make sure in your settings that you have set up your domain. You can't insert Lightning components onto your page builder without having your domain set. So you just need to go to My Domain and set your domain in the settings here so that, and then you need to log back in once this is set up so that you're in your custom domain. And that's because of the Lightning Locker service, and you, Salesforce for security reasons, want to make sure that they're limiting the access to your component to your domain. So once you do that, then you can insert custom components. So the next step then is to create a custom component, Lightning component. And I like to use Maven's Mate. And so, I have a project set up here, and we can do a new component here. Or we can also set it up with a developer tool. So maybe I'll do that in this case, going to the developer console. And I'm going to say File, New Lightning Resource, and File, create Lightning component. And we'll call this account metrics, okay? And this is going to be a Lightning record page. And we don't need a quick action. Maybe we do. So we're going to create this component. And what happens then is that Salesforce then, because we said it's a record component, it adds this has record ID. And I guess we don't need Lightning quick action. We can optionally have the access level. And so basically we've got kind of the start of our component right now. The other thing that we want to do now is let's see, the other thing we want to do is we do want to set this to be available for all page types, because we need to do that. I believe, to put it on in using the Lightning page builder. And so we need has record ID, that sounds good. And so we have the start of our component. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do, we're going to use the Lightning Data Service, Lightning Data Service. And this is a newer feature in Salesforce that gives us the ability to do really simple queries without having to create our own Apex controller. So in another lesson, I'll cover Apex controllers, but in this case, we don't need to worry about that because we have this really cool, simple way to load a record. And so here's the kind of overview of the code, but this is the key part here is this record data element. And so we can set some attributes of this and kind of get some, actually pull some data from Salesforce without having to write a custom query and a custom controller. So yeah, so we're just going to grab some of this code, and we'll actually we'll grab it this way. and we'll paste it onto our Lightning component here. And so the first thing is we want to work with the account record. So we're just going to make an object, call it account. We don't really need that. And really, we don't actually need an error at this point because we're just going to display some data we're not actually saving. So it's pretty simple. So we just have one attribute called account. And then so now we have our record loader. And we're going to use the record ID that's passed in the page builder, which is what we get when we say has record ID. We have that record ID variable set automatically by Salesforce. And we're going to set the field data for this to account. And then we're going to add another attribute called fields. And at this point, let's just grab 2 just to make sure our component's working. And we're not doing any updates or so we won't have any errors. So basically, this should be a good start to our component here. Okay, so that's saved. And then what we want to do now is display the data. So Salesforce has a really rich UI framework called Lightning Design System. So you can just type in Lightning Design System and you can go to the blueprints, and this has a long list of elements that you can use as references for including components, HTML components, into your Lightning component. And I think one option here for us in the example that I was showing before is to do just some cards. And so the card just kind of looks like this, where it has this really nice little bevel and radius on it. It just is a clean way to display some data. So you can just, kind of copy this. There's some padding options and things, and with padding. So like this is a good kind of example for us. So we can just grab this code and go back to our Lightning component, and we'll paste that in. Maybe we can simplify this a tiny bit. Maybe let's just not use a figure. So we have our header, we've got a body here, and we've got a title, and then a link if we want. And this is the title there, and the link. And then in the H2, and the div, and the header. And then we can add some body text here. So yeah. So this is a nice little start to our component. So let's save that. And then let's just go ahead and add this onto our page. So I've edited my account page here. And so you can see the record view. And what we want to put on this, so the way to get to the record view actually is if you're on your account page, you can go to setup and then just say edit page. And this brings you to the Lightning app page builder. And down here, you can see you've got your custom elements. So this is the new one that we just created, the account metrics. And we can just drag this guy right onto our layout at the top, and there it is. So now if I hit save and we go back to our records view, then we see our nice little Lightning component. Well, that's nice, but let's say we wanted a bit more detail. First of all, this would be probably some sort of a number. like 12. Maybe this is going to be contacts. And then let's go ahead and duplicate this card. Maybe let's just grab a little bit of a column set up here. So what this is a grid, and then within the grid, we're going to set up a column. And so we're going to just format that. Let's end the div and end the grid. So now let's just copy all of this and let's paste it in here. So we have 2 more columns for our cards. So let's say maybe this is going to be sales, and this is going to be assets. Okay, so let's save that. We'll go back here to our records view, just see how that looks. So you can see here now, this is great. We've got 3 different cards, and we can place in some, now we can start replacing these sample numbers with actual real data. The one thing that we might want to do is just to make that text just a little bit bigger. And so we can go in and maybe just add a bit of formatting on the text. So what this is a heading style, large heading style from the Salesforce Lightning Design System. And so we'll that there, and then we'll close our div here. Oops. Let's do that on all our numbers. Let's make it a bit bigger. Right. Oops, I missed this closing div somewhere, didn't I? Okay. Just give it a second here. Perfect. I like it. Nice big numbers. Okay, so that's it. So we've got our custom component on the page. We've got 3 cards. And then at this point, what we want to do is start loading in some custom data. So let's go in, first of all, and just make sure we have some custom fields. And so I'm going to go, oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go in and to the setup. We'll go to Object Manager, Account, Fields, and let's add, I think I might have already added assets here, so that's great. And then let's maybe, here's number of employees, perfect, already got that one set up. And then the last one we said was contacts, which is employees. Oh, sales. Okay, do we have sales? So let's just add sales. I'll make it a currency. We're not going to track decimals. If I did track decimals, I need to shorten my length and then do something like that. But we're not going to. Oh, still need a 0 there though. Okay. And then we're just going to make this visible to all profiles. And we'll go ahead and add it to all the layouts. So now we've got our custom field. So let's just enter some data on our 3 custom fields that we're looking at here. So number of employees we'll set to 10, and then assets we'll set to 11, or maybe let's see, F12, and then sales we'll set to where did my sales field go? Did I not get it on the layout? Maybe not. What is there? Oh, I just needed to refresh. Okay. So then sales will set to 11. So now we want to pull those numbers in here in the Lightning component. So since we're loading our record account and we now just set their fields to be name and ID for testing. So now let's add our 3 custom fields that we're working with. And sometimes it's hard to remember the field names. So let's just be sure that we have it right. So the first one was sales. I'm just going to copy that and then paste it here. Then the second one was employees. Okay. Oh, there's 2. I think I did this one. And then the third one is assets. Great, so now it's really, the last step is just to pull in that data. So we're gonna make an expression here and we'll reference the view and the account and then our field name. And so the first one is gonna be contacts. Let's call that employees. It's a bit more explicit. Number of employees, it's going to go there, and then the next one is sales. So that's going to be sales is that one, and then the last one was assets. Okay. So now we're dynamically going to be pulling in the values for those 3 fields. Back to our record view, refresh, and we've got our metrics, boom. So obviously this is a simple case because we're manually typing in the field data here. Oh, that's auto-calculated, huh? So, but that's exactly my point, though, is that some of these fields we can have be a bit smarter, so like employees can count the number of contacts, or assets can look at a formula, and so. But at this point, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to pull in custom metric values in a really nice, beautiful card like this. All right, that's the end of our lesson.